Or do you think they put Fleetwood with Tyrrell Hatton, try to keep him cooled down?
Kind of like that European commercial that they did. I'm Tyrrell and I'm an angry golfer. And Fleetwood's the commentator.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Welcome back to episode 19 of the Loggerhead Golf podcast. And Europe got their picks in. And what do we think about that?
Well, so did Team USA, because our last podcast, literally, we did it right as they were doing the picks.
Yeah, the teams are set.
After. So both teams are set, but I'm not as surprised with Europe's picks compared to Team USA. You guys want to walk through essentially the set teams? I mean, I'm sure a lot of our listeners know, but for those of you that don't.
I would say probably everyone's seen the U.S. team by now.
Okay.
I would hope. But the U.S. team is Sam Burns, Patrick Cantley, Wyndham Clark, Ricky Fowler, Brian Harmon, Max Homa, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas. Anybody stick out to you there?
Well, we all talked about it. I mean, Justin Thomas, as much as I like JT, I don't think he deserves to be there after how he's played this year. Yes, maybe he has a good Ryder Cup record, but I think that the players that are playing the best this season consistently should be allotted to go.
I mean, if they want it to be the good old boy system, aka if they want the same guys to play on the same Ryder Cups, then why don't they just do a Ryder Cup every year?
Or just get rid of the ranking system and just have 12 captain's picks. Just the captain picks 12 of his best buddies and I go out and play golf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's turning into, right?
I feel absolutely gutted for Keegan Bradley.
Yeah. Well,
You know, and his remarks after, too, you can tell I'd be surprised how he plays, because he's probably beating himself up right now. Because Keegan Bradley even came out and said, what more did I have to do?
yeah.
And, not to plug another podcast, but I listened to another podcast and they filmed it well before the picks. And Kevin Kisner came out and was like, you're either in the boys system or you're not. He goes, and Keegan Bradley's not, so JT will probably get picked over him. Well,
He was right.
he was right. So, and that's just the tough thing, is that Keegan Bradley won twice this year. Has been vocal. He's been grinding to make the team. But, the Freddie Couples, the Tigers, that whole crew, the Davis Love III, that whole crew, they're going to make their decision. Even though Zach's the captain, no, he's not. So they've done this whole, U.S. done this whole little buddy system ever since they came out with the task force.
Yeah, so the Ryder Cup task force, and that was after their defeat. Was that at the K Club after the loss there?
I think it was Medina,
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, it was
It was an away Ryder Cup.
Well,
right?
Phil Mickelson blew up
Cause
at Medina.
Yeah,
Like
Medina was the first one after the kind of action. Anyway, they've been working on getting their system in there. Kind of hitting on your point, Daryl. What you mentioned is like their reason for having that task force and coming up with the 6 captains picks was so that the captain could be more reactive and grab the guys that are playing good right now, right at this moment. Now, we got some guys, like I said, Keegan Bradley. Lucas Glover's not on the team. Is anybody playing hotter than Lucas Glover right now?
Cam Young was in the top 10 and didn't get picked.
Right.
Which we all said he wasn't going to, but
And that's why we make
Doesn't
that
mean he
comment
didn't deserve
of it seems like it's more about just getting your buddies on the team as much as more so than what it is the guys that are actually deserve to be there and playing well.
yeah.
Well, I think Freddie's probably putting a shoe in his mouth right now after Cam's going to be there. He's going to be there.
Well, I think that might have been why he didn't get picked.
I think ultimately, and not only that, it's like funny enough, it's like, Zach Johnson was trying to get a round in with Cam Young at the Wyndham, and Cam was just like, I'll look
got
at
plans
my schedule.
already.
I got plans, so it's, and that's where you realize, like, you don't realize how political these teams are.
Yeah.
Until like stuff like this happens. In the past, it's been pretty black and white: 12 best players versus 12 best players.
All I can say
I think
is
now it's just the 12 best players for TV against the 12 best players.
all I can say is I hope that Justin Thomas wins every match he plays in. Otherwise, it might be ugly after this one.
Especially since he won't have a matching uniform.
Well,
Yeah, I forgot about
Wow.
that. Yeah, RLX, man, just bam, just standing their ground.
Never know who's listening.
which I mean, it's the stupidest reason why he can't wear them. But also at the same
But
time, you
good
got
on-
to
good
good
on
on
RLX
RLX
for-
for standing behind their morals. You know, I mean,
Well,
whatever they are.
yeah, I don't know if you saw it, Daryl, but yeah, RLX came out and said absolutely not. He's not wearing that team uniform. So he's supposed to be the heart and soul
Of
as
the
Jack
team, but he's
Johnson
going to have to
said.
wear something different.
And
That'd be
he's
interesting
not
to
going to be
see
matching his teammates. It's like,
How
give me a
close
break.
Grayson can get to making the same thing as RLX,
I mean, I think that's just a call overseas and getting the
getting a label switch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No. Why wouldn't RLX just take all their logos off it?
well, they might, and then
It's
put
still-
Grayson logos.
Yeah, it's still an RLX.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. So, you know, which factory do they all make their clothes out of? You know, it's in the same one.
But
But it's the Team USA. I mean, we all said it. We all had our picks, but we all said we all know Justin Thomas is going to get picked.
yeah,
But so let's talk us through
hate it for
Team
Keegan.
Europe.
Yeah, so Europe is now set. We've got Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Robert McIntyre, Victor Hovland, Terrell Hatton, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Strepka. That's a mouthful.
yeah.
Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Shane Lowry. You want to try those last two?
Oh no, Nikolai Hogard and Ludwig Aberg.
I'm glad you took on the.
Nikolai. I'm just kidding.
I will say the captains, Luke Donald made it a little easier for us. He picked some easier names to pronounce. This team's not so hard.
No, when watching the picks yesterday, you know, one thing that stood out to me before we see who was picked and who wasn't, he kept referencing current form.
Right.
This guy's played great this year. This guy's playing great right now. Right? The press conferences between the captains were very different. You know, one captain was almost trying to protect himself as to why he made picks. The other captain just sounded like he was picking the best players Europe has.
Right.
Right?
He was confident in his picks.
Yeah, and it was the only one that probably stands out to me is Shane Lowry. You know, because right now they have 4 rookies on the team.
You know, I don't know. Not really. Now, if we're going to play the Zach Johnson card, Shane Lowry has Ryder Cup history.
One Ryder Cup, and he was 1-3.
Yeah, but at the same time, he played. When I think of Shane Lowry at that Ryder Cup, I only think positive things.
No, that's true. I mean, he was.
You know, I don't think about his record being 1-3. You know, he was somebody that.
But no,
kinda
it was
gathered
the
the team
great. It
around
was
him.
the best U.S. team that's ever shown up to a Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
that last
that's
one
a
at
little bit
Whistling
different.
Straits. So they ran into a buzzsaw.
But yeah, he was one of the the pillars of the team, I would say.
Yeah. The only reason why I said I'm iffy about Shane Lowry is because technically they left off Adrian Meronk.
Yeah,
He's a 3-time winner this year. He won the Italian Open at the course the Ryder Cup's being played at.
right.
You know, you guys know my dad would be pretty vocal about this, but like he says, is this the PGA Tour Ryder Cup or is this like actual European Tour versus, you know?
Well, it's clearly not a European tour.
Yeah,
event.
because this kid won
Well,
3
DP World
times
Tour.
and got left off. You know, because I'm not going to say Ludwig got picked in his place of Adrian. I think Shane Lowry got picked in place of Adrian.
Yeah, so you're thinking replaced him.
Yeah. I mean, just based off of form and just based off results. Because you can't argue the results of any of the other players. The only player on that team right now that you can argue that essentially doesn't have a win this year is Shane Lowry. Everyone else on that team, on your
So
team,
you're
has
saying
wins this year.
Shane Lowry is the European team's Justin Thomas.
Not really, because Shane Lowry didn't shoot 83, 81 at
was
a
gonna
major
say,
this year.
yeah.
So,
I mean, and would miss cuts in 3 of the 4. I was actually
Yeah.
trying to think about it last night. My first thought, I didn't think he made a cut in a major this year.
no, he made one.
But he U.S. Open,
But he
right?
finished like
But he made the
75th.
cut on a number and finished dead last. So, anyway.
No need to beat a dead horse.
Right.
But I think it's gonna. And U.S. hasn't won since 1993 on European soil, so you know I think all these picks doesn't matter until that first Friday morning.
Yeah, we gotta see what happens.
Yeah.
I think what's kind of interesting is this Ryder Cup, obviously with all the politics being involved, Luke Donald kind of got thrown into a tornado there with the whole live.
Yeah, he's
Hendrick
not even
Stenson.
the original Ryder Cup team captain.
And that's something.
Oh, that's right.
A
They
lot
took
of
it from
people,
Hendrick.
correct. So a lot of people haven't been talking about, but Hendrick was kind of the head honcho, getting input from Sergio Garcia, who's arguably the best Ryder Cup player ever.
Based off points,
and
he
then
is.
Ian Poulter, and then you take away for Europe your three biggest or at least two biggest historical people when it comes to the Ryder Cup, and to have them not even have any input, especially after the merger was announced, I think that's kind of silly.
Yeah,
that the politics are getting in the way of this event.
Team Europe definitely blackballed Live.
Yep.
Yeah. Which
'Cause if we're going off
once Team Europe did, right? Well, in correlation with the PGA of America and RNA, who puts on this tournament. Once they kind of kicked Henrik Stenson to the curb, I also think too, you never once heard the Poulter, Paul Casey, Graham McDowell, a lot of the guys that have been historically strong on the European Ryder Cup team, they all stopped talking about it too in defense of Henrik.
Yeah,
Henrik should still have been that captain,
absolutely.
Just based off his career.
And again, if you go off the original statement that was made, I guess 2 months ago now, is we're one tour now, then it shouldn't matter if they played on Live this year or not if they're all playing in these co-sanctioned events.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, is there any Live players on the European side like there was on the U.S. side that you can make an argument for being on the team? No, not really, based off form. U.S. team has form. Bryson DeChambeau recently shooting a 58-61, winning. Dustin Johnson, you can make an argument winning this year. No, really, for the most part, not a lot of European Tour players that are playing on Live.
But there are some
well.
staple European Tour players that would have,
Sergio,
had they been playing with everyone else, would have probably earned enough points to be on the team or would have been picked. Paul Casey would have been on that team if he's playing PGA.
well, he's not healthy. He hasn't been healthy all year. Same as Henry.
Well, Cam Smith.
No, he's Australian.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's
right.
Australian.
Forgot that loophole.
Yeah.
Sounds the same.
It's all over the ocean. It's past Raleigh.
Yeah. But they, that's every time I kept saying, I was like, Cam Smith would be great. And it's like, wait, no, he's Australian. But
He can play in the President's Cup.
I'm not going there. That tournament is a joke. But
So, what match, as far as a prediction, what would you like to see on the Sunday singles as like the most exciting match to you? The head-to-head match.
whoever's playing Justin Thomas, because I hope they win 10-8.
What about you, Caleb?
Singles matches. I want to see who Hovland plays.
Yeah.
Like if it were drawn out the right way, a Hovland Xander Schauffele match could be pretty interesting.
Especially after coming down the stretch at that last playoff event. 62, 61 or
I would
something.
enjoy watching that.
I'm looking forward to watching the top four from each team.
Yeah. Same kind of thing. John Rahm. Who are they going to play in the singles? I think he could match up really. It'd be pretty interesting to see him play. I'd like to see him play Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting.
Two hotheads.
Yes.
We might have to have a break so they can box it out during the round, but that'd be all right. That'd be some good TV. Rory McIlroy, who's he going to play? Again, there, I think a good one for him would be Scotty Scheffler. There's definitely going to be some interesting singles matches, and I'm also interested to see how some of these groups or how the teams are going to be paired. Like who's Team USA likely going to pair together for four ball as well as foursomes matches.
I think they asked Luke Donald about it. I don't think Europe's going to pair any of their powerhouses together.
You don't
Their
think
team
so?
is so strong that they're going to put like Rory with
whoever.
with whoever,
Well, that's the
Rahm
thing
with
is,
whoever,
Team
Victor
Europe always
with
have
whoever.
natural pairings.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
And I think
This team not as much, I don't feel like, but you'll probably have McIlroy and Justin Rose be paired together, or Shane Lowry.
yeah, they were paired together at Whistling Straits. I think you can take those top guys on Team USA and kind of put them with,
So
put
probably-
them with anybody, and then
Probably Fleetwood and Rose. Then
I think you'll see more
together?
power pairings on US's side than you will on Europe's side.
Or do you think they put Fleetwood with Tyrrell Hatton, try to keep him cooled down?
Kind of like that European commercial that they did. I'm Tyrrell and I'm an angry golfer. And Fleetwood's the commentator.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
I think what would be fun for the singles match would be the two lefties, put Harmon and McIntyre together.
yeah.
Because they're two completely different players for a Ryder Cup that we really haven't
They
seen.
got relatively similar styles of
Yeah.
golf, though.
I was gonna say Brian Harmon's game should shine
Yeah.
at this golf course with how tight it is.
Yeah,
But U.S. side, I think you're gonna see, like Cantlay and
well, I think you got to put Cantlay and Xander together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xander. It's
Yeah.
gonna be strong. I mean, I think obviously
Justin Thomas was obviously he had to be a pairings pick. He's probably going to play
Spieth.
with Spieth.
and foursomes.
Yeah. Who do you think they pair with Wyndham Clark? Or does Wyndham Clark play many matches in the?
I think
first
they
2
pair.
days?
I think they might pair him with Kepka.
Think they pair him with?
I think
put
that'd be a
two
good
power
pairing.
players together.
Yeah, because they might try to send him out early in the morning and then reshuffle in the afternoon.
I can see that working in like
But
foursomes.
they're both really good off the tee. Like,
Yeah.
they're long. They're long and straight. So, I mean, distance. It just happens that they're power players. They're not power players like you would classify Bryson, where he's erratic and has
Who's Scotty going to play with?
Sam Burns.
Sam Burns.
Yeah,
That's a pretty natural
they're
pairing.
best
too.
friends. But not only that, Sam Burns. I mean, he's played really well at the WGC match play. And also, I want people to not to harp on the Justin Thomas thing, but Justin Thomas skipped the match play this year because he didn't like the golf course.
Wow.
Right. So we're bringing up past records in Ryder Cup and President's Cup, right? Okay, if he's such a strong match play player,
Why wouldn't he play match play?
Why wouldn't he play match play?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember that because Sam Burns, but I think it'll be obviously Team Europe's an underdog,
You think so?
but I think playing on
You were the
European
one that's
soil
on Team
levels
Europe
it.
bandwagon really early,
Oh, I still am.
but now you're calling them underdogs.
I'll buy a hat right now. I'll wear it next week or week. We do the. How many weeks away is it? Like 3. I don't know. I'll say I'll be Team Europe.
I mean, you can be Team Europe all you want to be. That's fine. You're calling them underdogs, but
They are underdogs on paper, based off world ranking. They are.
Assuming world ranking's correct.
No, well,
I'm gonna say, how much stock can we put into that?
I mean, how much do you think that plays a role in future Ryder Cups based off of the picks this year?
well, technically, you don't have to be a member of the European Tour to play on the European team because Rory hasn't played. Yes, he's playing the Irish Open this week. But
Well, was it
Rory
ever
play-
stated that you had to be a member of the European Tour to play on the European Ryder Cup team?
Technically, you do. Yes.
I thought the only requirement was you had to be a European-born golfer.
Yeah, but how you now with the with PGA Tour's merger with the DP World Tour,
Yeah,
is like the PGA has sanctioned tournaments in Europe.
right.
So there's so many loopholes because half this European team lives in America, so you can't even call them European team. But
True.
that's why I kind of feel bad for like Adrian Ronk. He's played solely on the DP World Tour, won 3 times, and doesn't get the pick.
Well, I mean, PGA Tour gutted the European Tour or DP World Tour, whatever you want to call it now. They gutted that a long time ago. When they started doing the World Golf Championships and having co-sanctioned events, they basically said PGA Tour is higher rated than the European Tour. So your better players are always going to go to where they can play against better players, get better rankings, and win more money.
But it's not about the money.
Oh, it's about the money. But how excited are we for this Ryder Cup?
I'll let you guys go first.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm?
That's the best way I could put it. And Ryder Cup's always been my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always looked forward to it, but it seems like this year, or really the last 2 years of golf, have just been so tainted that I feel like even as a Ryder Cup, even though the live stuff's behind us now, they're still going to make it about politics than rather the event.
Yeah.
I just really think that leading into it, everything's been super negative for the most part. There has been no positive until Luke Donald came out Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was.
Yes, right, yeah.
Yeah. And that was about the most positive news conference we've heard about
Great.
Ryder Cup. And
Great pick. It was all about play.
correct.
Yeah.
He was classy, respectful towards both teams. Talked about all the players in a positive manner. Where when Zach Johnson came on stage, it was tense. You could tell he was just saying what he thought he should say so that he doesn't get frowned upon.
Definitely a different attitude around the two press conferences. Yeah.
So I would say lukewarm.
What do you think, DP?
You guys are good. You guys did a great job, this podcast. I'm always a big fan of Ryder Cup. I love team play. I love it coming down to Sundays and it being close. And then who are they going to put out? So I'm really eager to see who's going to play who. But I always enjoy watching Ryder Cup. And through all the controversy and everything, it's going to be fun to kind of still watch.
That was still going to be great,
Yeah.
great spectacle.
Caleb, do we see any commercial-free coverage?
Oh, boy.
I sure as hell hope so.
There's only going to be 10 people on the golf course and somehow
hell,
only see 2 shots.
We got
But
Coca-Cola paying for the back nine to be commercial free at the Tour Championship, so surely they can do something for this, right? I'm not all that excited for this event. Like you said, Kyle, probably somewhere around lukewarm, maybe even cooler than that. It's hard to really get it. I've always loved the Ryder Cup. The first Ryder Cup that I can really remember watching was the one. What is it called?
Nothing.
The first Ryder Cup I can really remember watching was the one at Brookline, the country club.
great one.
And that was probably the all-time best Ryder Cup. It's hard to really beat that one.
Was that the Justin Leonard putt?
Yeah.
With the really ugly shirts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture frames on the shirts, yeah. So I've always really enjoyed the Ryder Cup. I always liked the energy it brought, the team aspect of it, the representing your country, having American pride. That was always what I enjoyed. However, with the world of golf and how it is right now, there's so much other stuff going on. I feel like so much negative press we've heard all year with the merger and canning Henrik Stenson, not letting him be the captain of the European team because he represents LIV. So much other politics getting involved in golf that the golf can't really stand out. Hell, go even down to the picks when we're starting to have to talk about the U.S. captain having to justify his picks of whether it's a good pick or not. There's so much being worried about just the politics of the game versus actually going out there and playing, representing your country, and having some national pride, which is what the event's supposed to be.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm always excited to watch. The thing I'm most excited to watch is that it's going to be on when I wake up in the morning. I can't stand watching golf at 4 or 5 p.m. like it normally is here in the States. So the fact that we can wake up, if you're not working, sit down, have a cup of coffee, watch the Ryder Cup right then and there. Like it's to start our day here in the United States. So is it sad that that's what I'm mostly looking forward to? Maybe. But I love the Ryder Cup, like Daryl was saying. I think match play is my favorite form of golf to watch. I love playing match play when we're just playing with our buddies or something. That being said, like this year's Ryder Cup is tainted. I just don't look at it the same because, like we said off air, if a lot of the LIV guys were in conversation, Justin Thomas wouldn't even been close to being picked for this tournament. Another kind of great example, Henrik being gone, but I'm just looking forward to watching the tournament and what entails from it. That being said, it just doesn't feel like Whistling Straits felt. It doesn't feel like Medina felt.
Yeah.
And
Those were home events as well for us too.
yeah, but I'll also say on the European side, it doesn't feel like Lake Golf National felt.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it was hyped up as well too.
so that was hyped up. Like that was an awesome Ryder Cup. This one just feels weird. And maybe it's because it's been so long since we've had one because of the COVID.
Right. I was gonna say I feel like as they start to hype it up more and more in a couple weeks leading up to when they actually play,
It'll change.
It'll
Yeah.
change. It'll
Yeah.
change. Yeah.
But the actual substance, like the actual format, everything, I love.
Yeah,
I
same.
can't wait. I can't wait to watch.
No.
I don't care who's playing at that point. You know, obviously, I guess I'm go Team Europe, but it'll be fun. So,
What do you guys think the final score will be?
God, ask me in a few weeks.
Look, we'll figure that out. Our
'Cause there's-
podcast a week before the actual event. We'll talk
All
about
right.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
cool.
Well, awesome. Well, I guess we'll see what happens over the next week of golf, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. If you haven't done already, like and subscribe, turn on those push bell notifications. We'll see you.